ladies and gentlemen. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine the rarest diamond in the world, a diamond so unique, so flawless that it's priceless. Now open your eyes, because that diamond is not a stone, it's a woman. A rare woman is not defined by the world around her. She defines the world itself. She doesn't wait for permission to shine. She steps forward and commands the stage, unapologetically. The rarest woman is not born, she's forged. She's built through trials that would break others. When the storms come, and she doesn't crumble. She uses the chaos as fuel, the pain as her teacher, and the setbacks as her staircase. She understands something powerful. No one is coming to save her, and that's her superpower. Because she's not waiting for a hero, she is the hero. What makes her rare is her resilience, but it's also her refusal to settle. She doesn't settle for mediocrity, for excuses, or for a life that's less than what she knows she's capable of living. She has standards that make others uncomfortable, and that's okay. She knows that if she wants to live an extraordinary life, she has to demand more from herself, from others, and from the universe. You see, the rarest woman doesn't let fear dictate her choices. Fear whispers, stay small. Stay safe, but she shouts back. Not today. She steps out of her comfort zone, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. She understands that greatness lives on the other side of discomfort, so she takes the leap, knowing full well she might fall, but also knowing she'll get back up stronger every single time. And let me tell you this, the rarest woman doesn't compete with others. Why? Because she's too busy becoming the best version of herself. She's not chasing someone else's dream, she's creating her own. She doesn't follow trends or look for approval, because she knows her value isn't negotiable. It's intrinsic and it's infinite. This woman leads with kindness, but she's no pushover. Her strength is not in dominating others, but in elevating them. She's the one who lights up a room, not because she wants attention, but because her authenticity is like a flame. It warms, it inspires, and yes, it sometimes burns away what no longer serves her. And let's not forget her power to transform. The rarest woman in the world doesn't just change her life, she changes the lives of everyone she touches. She's a mother, a leader, a creator, a healer. She wears many crowns, and she wears them all with grace. She doesn't need to shout about her achievements, because her results speak louder than words ever could. But here's the secret. Every single woman has the potential to become the rarest woman in the world. The question is, will you? Will you step into your power even when it scares you? Will you dare to be misunderstood, judged, or even criticized, all in the name of living your truth? Will you choose courage over comfort, growth over stagnation, and greatness over good enough? The rarest woman is not a myth. She's real. And she's waiting for you to say yes to the life you were born to live. So say yes today. Say yes to the fire inside you. Say yes to the woman you're destined to become. Because the world doesn't just want you to show up, it needs you to. The rarest woman in the world is not born into her uniqueness. She is forged through the fire of trials and challenges. She is a product of her experiences, of the battles she has fought and the storms she has weathered. Each scar she carries is not a mark of defeat, but a testament to her resilience and determination. It is through adversity that her true strength emerges, and it is in the moments when others would crumble that she rises, transformed and unbreakable. Her journey is not one of ease or privilege, but one of relentless perseverance, where every obstacle becomes a stepping stone toward her greatness. This woman does not shy away from pain, she embraces it. Pain for her is a teacher, a guide that shapes her into something extraordinary. She understands that every setback, every heartbreak, and every challenge carries within it the seeds of growth. When life knocks her down, she doesn't just get back up, she rises with greater clarity, purpose, and determination. She doesn't fear failure because she knows that failure is not the end, it is merely a detour, a lesson that strengthens her resolve. Each time she falls, she learns. Each time she stumbles, she grows. Through this process, she becomes a force to be reckoned with, someone who cannot be easily shaken or deterred. Her strength is not loud or boastful, it is quiet and steadfast. It is the kind of strength that allows her to endure when others give up, to press on when the road ahead seems impossible. She has an unshakable belief in herself, a belief that is not dependent on external validation, but rooted deeply within her core. This belief is her anchor, her guiding light in the darkest of times. It is what allows her to face adversity with courage and to emerge on the other side, not just intact, but stronger and more resilient than ever. The trials she faces are not just tests of her endurance, but opportunities for transformation. Each challenge she encounters forces her to confront her fears, to push beyond her limits, and to discover the depths of her own strength. She doesn't simply survive these trials, she uses them as fuel for her growth. She becomes sharper, wiser, and more focused. The fire that was meant to destroy her becomes the fire that refines her, burning away her doubts and insecurities until only her true essence remains. This woman understands that adversity is not something to be avoided, but something to be embraced. She knows that it is through struggle that she discovers her true potential. While others may see obstacles as barriers, she sees them as opportunities. She approaches each challenge with a mindset of curiosity and determination, asking herself not why me, but what can I learn from this? This perspective allows her to turn even the most difficult circumstances into stepping stones toward her goals. She is not a victim of her circumstances, she is a master of them. Her journey is not without pain, but it is through pain that she finds her power. She has faced heartbreak, loss, and disappointment, yet she refuses to let these experiences define her. Instead, she uses them as opportunities to grow, to evolve, and to become stronger. She knows that pain is temporary, but the lessons it teaches are everlasting. Each trial she endures leaves her more resilient, more focused, and more determined to create a life that reflects her strength and vision. She is not afraid to confront the truth, even when it is uncomfortable or painful. She is willing to look in the mirror and face her own flaws and limitations because she knows that true strength comes from self-awareness and self-improvement. She is not interested in pretending to be perfect. She is committed to becoming her best self. This honesty with herself is what allows her to grow and to thrive in the face of adversity. It is what sets her apart from those who are content to stay in their comfort zones, avoiding challenges and settling for mediocrity. Through her trials, she becomes a beacon of hope and inspiration for others. Her story is not one of perfection, but of perseverance. It is a story that reminds others that it is possible to rise above adversity, to turn pain into purpose, and to emerge from the fire stronger than ever. She is a living testament to the power of resilience, a reminder that greatness is not handed to us, but earned through our struggles and our determination to overcome them. The rarest woman in the world does not allow her trials to define her. She uses them to refine her. Each challenge she faces becomes a part of her story, a chapter in the book of her life that speaks to her strength and her ability to rise above. She is not a product of her circumstances, but a creator of her destiny. She understands that the path to greatness is not a straight line, but a journey filled with twists, turns, and obstacles, and yet she presses on, driven by a vision of the woman she is becoming. In the end, it is her trials that make her rare. It is her ability to endure, to grow, and to transform in the face of adversity that sets her apart. She is not afraid of the fire because she knows that she is the fire. She is the rarest woman in the world, not because life has been easy for her, but because she has embraced its challenges and emerged stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever. Her story is one of triumph, a testament to the power of the human spirit and the extraordinary strength of a woman who refuses to give up. The rarest woman in the world is defined by her ability to establish and uphold her own standards, refusing to settle for anything less than what aligns with her values and vision. She knows that mediocrity is a comfort zone disguised as a trap, and she refuses to fall into it. This woman is not content to merely exist. She strives to thrive, to live a life that reflects her highest potential. Her standards are not about perfection, but about commitment to excellence, to growth, and to creating a life that is both meaningful and fulfilling. She doesn't let the expectations of others dictate her choices or the direction of her life. The rarest woman knows that living to please others is the quickest path to losing herself. She sets her standards high, not to impress anyone else, but to honor the person she knows she is capable of becoming. These standards are deeply personal and rooted in her understanding of her worth. She doesn't ask for permission to dream big or to pursue what she wants. She simply claims it as her own, knowing that she is deserving of all the good things life has to offer. What sets her apart is her ability to enforce her standards, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. She recognizes that people often settle because they fear rejection or judgment, but she is unafraid of either. She would rather walk alone on a path of integrity than compromise her values to fit in. This unwavering commitment to her standards is what makes her rare. She is willing to make sacrifices in the short term to uphold the long-term vision she has for herself. Whether it's in relationships, career, or personal growth, she does not settle for less than what aligns with her values and goals. In her relationships, the rarest woman demands mutual respect and authenticity. She does not tolerate toxic behavior, manipulation, or mediocrity. She understands that the people she surrounds herself with have a profound impact on her energy and mindset, and she is intentional about choosing relationships that uplift and inspire her. She would rather have a small circle of genuine connections than a large network of superficial ones. Her standards are not about exclusivity or superiority. They are about creating an environment where she can thrive and be her authentic self. In her career, she is not content with just showing up or collecting a paycheck. The rarest woman pursues work that challenges her, fulfills her, and aligns with her purpose. She does not accept being undervalued or underestimated, and she is willing to advocate for herself when necessary. She knows that her time and energy are precious, and she invests them in opportunities that allow her to grow and make a meaningful impact. She is not afraid to take risks or to walk away from situations that no longer serve her because she trusts in her ability to create something better. The rarest woman's standards extend to how she treats herself. She does not settle for neglecting her own well-being or diminishing her own voice. She prioritizes self-care, not as a luxury, but as a necessity. She sets boundaries to protect her time, energy, and mental health, knowing that she cannot pour from an empty cup. She holds herself accountable for her actions and decisions, but she also practices self-compassion, recognizing that growth is a process and not a destination. Her standards are a reflection of the respect and love she has for herself. Her high standards may intimidate some, but she does not apologize for them. She knows that these standards are not about being difficult or demanding, but about honoring her worth. She understands that those who truly value her will rise to meet her expectations, and those who cannot will naturally fall away. This is not a loss to her because she values quality over quantity in every area of her life. She is not afraid to say no, to walk away, or to start over if it means staying true to herself. The rarest woman also understands that her standards are dynamic, not static. They evolve as she grows and learns more about herself and the world around her. She is not rigid or inflexible. She is adaptive and open to change, but she never compromises on her core values. Her standards are a reflection of her growth and her commitment to living a life of purpose and integrity. She knows that as she continues to raise her standards, she is not only improving her own life, but also inspiring others to do the same. Living by high standards requires courage, and the rarest woman has plenty of it. She is willing to face discomfort, to have difficult conversations, and to make tough decisions in order to stay aligned with her values. She understands that setting and maintaining high standards is not about being perfect, but about being intentional. It is about choosing a life that feels authentic and fulfilling, even if it means walking a harder path. Ultimately, the rarest woman does not settle because she believes in her ability to create the life she wants. She knows that her standards are not limitations, but a framework for her growth and success. She trusts herself to make decisions that align with her vision and to navigate challenges with grace and resilience. Her standards are not just about what she expects from the world, but about what she expects from herself. She holds herself to the same level of accountability and excellence that she seeks in others, and this is what makes her truly rare. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in human experience, capable of paralyzing the mind and halting progress. Yet for the rarest woman in the world, fear is not an obstacle, it's her fuel. She has learned to transform fear from a force of limitation into a catalyst for growth. It's not that she doesn't feel fear, she feels it deeply. But instead of allowing it to control her, she chooses to confront it head on, using it as a signal that she's on the edge of something transformative. The rarest woman knows that fear often appears at the threshold of greatness. When she feels the grip of doubt, hesitation, or anxiety, she doesn't see it as a warning to stop. She sees it as an invitation to step forward. Fear is not a barrier, but a guide pointing her toward the areas where growth and opportunity lie. She understands that the comfort zone is a dangerous place, a place where dreams stagnate, potential withers, and life becomes predictable and unfulfilling. For her, fear is the fire that urges her to leap, to risk, and to embrace the unknown. This woman recognizes that the greatest breakthroughs in life come from moments of uncertainty and discomfort. While others shrink from challenges, she leans into them, knowing that fear is a natural response to stepping into uncharted territory. She doesn't let the voice of fear drown out the whisper of her potential. Instead, she silences the doubts by taking action, even if her heart is pounding and her hands are shaking. She understands that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. When fear tells her to stay small, she responds with boldness. She knows that fear is often a reflection of deeply ingrained beliefs that she isn't good enough, that she'll fail, or that she doesn't deserve success. But the rarest woman refuses to let these limiting beliefs dictate her choices. She challenges them, dismantling them piece by piece. She replaces the narrative of fear with one of empowerment, telling herself, I am capable, I am worthy, I am enough. This mental shift doesn't eliminate fear, but it gives her the strength to rise above it. The rarest woman understands that fear is an inevitable part of growth, and she welcomes it as a companion on her journey. She doesn't avoid fear or try to escape it, she studies it, learning from its presence. Each time she faces a fear and overcomes it, she becomes stronger, more confident, and more resilient. She realizes that the more she confronts her fears, the less power they hold over her. What once seemed insurmountable becomes manageable, and what once felt terrifying becomes a stepping stone to her next level of success. Her relationship with fear is what sets her apart. She doesn't see fear as the enemy, she sees it as a teacher. Fear teaches her about her boundaries, her vulnerabilities, and the areas where she needs to grow. It shows her where she's holding back and where she's playing small, and rather than running from these truths, she uses them to fuel her transformation. She embraces fear as a necessary part of becoming the woman she is meant to be. The rarest woman also knows that fear often disguises itself as practicality. It whispers, be careful, play it safe, don't risk too much, but she sees through this illusion, understanding that playing it safe is often the most dangerous choice of all. She knows that a life of safety and predictability is a life of missed opportunities. For her, the greatest risk is not failure, but the regret of never trying. She would rather face the possibility of falling than live with the knowledge that she held herself back. When others see fear as a stop sign, she sees it as a green light. She knows that fear is not a sign to turn back, it's a sign that she's pushing the limits of what she thought was possible. She uses fear as a compass, guiding her toward the places where she can grow the most. Each time she steps into the unknown, she expands her capacity for courage, resilience, and greatness. She learns that the moments that scare her the most are often the moments that define her. Fear, for the rarest woman, is not a weakness but a strength. It reminds her that she is alive, that she is pushing herself, and that she is on a journey of continuous evolution. She doesn't let fear dictate her story. She writes her own narrative, one of bravery, determination, and triumph. She knows that fear will always be a part of the journey, but she also knows that it doesn't have to control her. She chooses to use fear as fuel, turning it into the energy she needs to keep moving forward. The rarest woman doesn't wait for fear to disappear before taking action. She knows that waiting for the moment when fear is absent, is a recipe for inaction. Instead, she acts in the face of fear, proving to herself time and time again that she is stronger than she thought. Each step she takes in defiance of fear builds her confidence, reinforcing the belief that she can handle whatever comes her way. Fear is not her enemy, it's her ally. It's the force that drives her to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of herself. The rarest woman understands that fear will never completely go away, but it doesn't have to. She has learned to live with it, to dance with it, and to use it to her advantage. Fear may be a constant presence, but it is no match for her courage, her determination, and her unshakable belief in her own potential. The rarest woman in the world doesn't waste her time or energy competing with others. She has no interest in the rat race of comparison or measuring her worth against someone else's achievements. Why? Because she knows that her greatest competitor is the person she sees in the mirror every day. She is not chasing someone else's dream or trying to fit into someone else's definition of success. Her focus is on becoming the best version of herself, creating a life that reflects her unique passions, talents, and purpose. This woman understands that comparison is a trap that steals joy and derails progress. She refuses to be distracted by what others are doing because she knows that everyone is walking their own path with their own challenges and timelines. Instead of looking sideways, she looks inward, Her energy is directed towards self-improvement, not comparison. She asks herself daily, how can I be better than I was yesterday? This simple yet powerful question becomes the compass that guides her actions, decisions, and growth. Her focus on self-mastery gives her a sense of freedom that others envy. She doesn't feel pressured to conform to societal expectations or follow trends that don't resonate with her values. She creates her own definition of success, one that feels authentic and fulfilling. For her, success is not about external validation, but about internal alignment, living a life that reflects her deepest truths and aspirations. This freedom allows her to thrive without the constant noise of comparison clouding her vision. The rarest woman is deeply aware of her strengths, weaknesses, and areas for growth. She is her own greatest critic, not in a way that tears her down, but in a way that inspires her to rise higher. She takes ownership of her life, understanding that she is responsible for her progress and success. When she encounters setbacks, she doesn't waste time blaming others or making excuses. Instead, she reflects on what she can learn from the experience and how she can grow stronger as a result. This level of accountability sets her apart and fuels her continuous evolution. She is not interested in one-upping others because she knows that true greatness comes from within. Her achievements are not about outshining someone else, but about fulfilling her own potential. She measures her progress not by comparing herself to others, but by how far she's come in her own journey. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory because it represents growth and effort. This mindset allows her to celebrate her own milestones without feeling threatened by the successes of others. The rarest woman also knows the power of collaboration over competition. She recognizes that life is not a zero-sum game where someone else's success diminishes her own. Instead, she believes in lifting others up, knowing that there is enough abundance and opportunity for everyone. She is generous with her knowledge, support, and encouragement because she understands that empowering others only strengthens her own sense of purpose. By focusing on collaboration, she builds meaningful connections and creates an environment where everyone has the chance to thrive. Her refusal to compete doesn't mean she lacks ambition, far from it. The rarest woman is driven and determined, but her drive comes from within, not from external pressure. She sets ambitious goals for herself, not to prove anything to anyone else, but to challenge herself and grow. Her ambition is deeply personal, rooted in her desire to maximize her potential and contribute something meaningful to the world. She doesn't seek approval or applause because her satisfaction comes from knowing she's giving her best effort and living authentically. The rarest woman is also deeply secure in her identity. She doesn't feel the need to compare herself to others because she knows that her value is not determined by how she measures up against someone else. She embraces her uniqueness, understanding that her differences are her greatest strengths. She knows that no one else can bring her exact combination of experiences, perspectives, and talents to the table. This confidence allows her to focus on her own journey without being distracted by what others are doing. Her focus on self-improvement also means that she is constantly evolving. She invests in her personal growth, whether through learning new skills, seeking out mentors, or reflecting on her experiences. She is committed to being a lifelong learner, knowing that there is always room to grow. This commitment to growth keeps her grounded and motivated even when faced with challenges. She doesn't see setbacks as failures, but as opportunities to learn and improve. This resilience is what allows her to keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles come her way. The rarest woman's ability to focus on herself rather than competing with others gives her a sense of inner peace. She is not consumed by envy or resentment because she is content with her own path. She celebrates the successes of others without feeling diminished because she knows that their journey has nothing to do with hers. This inner peace allows her to stay focused, motivated, and aligned with her purpose, even in a world that often encourages competition and comparison. Her mindset is one of abundance rather than scarcity. She believes that there is enough success, happiness, and opportunity for everyone, and she operates from this belief in everything she does. This abundance mindset allows her to approach life with positivity and generosity, creating an environment where she and those around her can thrive. It also frees her from the need to compete, as she knows that her success is not dependent on someone else's failure. The rarest woman in the world understands that her only competition is herself. By focusing on her own growth and staying true to her values, she creates a life that is uniquely hers, a life of purpose, fulfillment, and authenticity. She doesn't compete with others because she is too busy becoming the best version of herself, and that is what makes her truly rare. The rarest woman in the world possesses a trait that sets her apart from the crowd: unwavering belief in her ability to create the life she envisions. This belief is not a fleeting emotion or a passive hope. It is an unshakable conviction that fuels her every step. It is the foundation of her resilience, her ambition, and her willingness to embrace challenges. She understands that belief is not just a feeling, it is a choice, a commitment to herself and her potential, regardless of the obstacles she faces or the opinions of others. This woman doesn't wait for external validation to feel confident in her abilities. She knows that the world often tries to impose limitations, whether through societal expectations, cultural norms, or the doubts of others. But she refuses to let those limitations define her. Instead, she draws strength from within, trusting that she has everything she needs to succeed. Her belief is rooted in self-awareness. She knows her strengths, understands her weaknesses, and is willing to put in the work to grow and evolve. She believes not because the path is easy, but because she knows that her commitment and effort will ultimately shape her reality. Her belief in herself is not naive or unrealistic. It is grounded in action. She takes deliberate steps toward her goals, no matter how small they may seem. Every action she takes reinforces her belief, creating a cycle of confidence and progress. She understands that belief alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by effort, persistence, and a willingness to learn from failure. When she faces setbacks, she doesn't see them as reasons to doubt herself, but as opportunities to refine her approach. Each challenge she overcomes deepens her belief, proving to her time and again that she is capable of achieving what she sets her mind to. This woman also understands the power of visualization. She doesn't just dream about the life she wants, she envisions it in vivid detail. She sees herself thriving, succeeding, and living in alignment with her purpose. This mental imagery becomes a powerful motivator, driving her to take actions that bring her closer to her vision. She knows that the mind cannot distinguish between imagined success and real success, so she uses this to her advantage, building her confidence through visualization and reinforcing her belief in her ability to make it a reality. The rarest woman's belief in herself is contagious. It inspires those around her to believe in themselves as well. She becomes a beacon of hope and possibility, showing others what is possible when you trust in your abilities and refuse to give up. Her confidence is not arrogance, it is a quiet, steady assurance that comes from knowing her worth and her potential. She doesn't need to boast or seek attention because her actions speak louder than words. Her belief in herself is evident in the way she carries herself, the decisions she makes, and the energy she brings to every situation. One of the reasons her belief is so strong is that she has faced and conquered her fears. She knows what it feels like to doubt herself, to question whether she's good enough or capable enough. But instead of succumbing to those fears, she confronts them head on. She pushes through the discomfort, proving to herself that she is stronger than her doubts. Each time she does this, her belief grows, becoming an unbreakable force that propels her forward. She doesn't let fear dictate her choices because she knows that fear is often just a sign that she's on the edge of growth. The rarest woman also surrounds herself with people who support and uplift her. She understands that belief in oneself can be nurtured by the energy and influence of others. She seeks out mentors, friends, and collaborators who share her vision and encourage her to keep going. These relationships become a source of strength, reinforcing her belief in her ability to achieve her goals. At the same time, she sets boundaries with those who doubt her or try to bring her down, protecting her mindset and staying focused on her journey. Her belief is not just about her own success, it is about the impact she wants to make. She knows that by believing in herself, she can inspire others to do the same. She wants to show the world that it's possible to overcome obstacles, rise above limitations, and create a life that reflects your true potential. Her belief becomes a ripple effect, touching the lives of those who see her example and are encouraged to pursue their own dreams. This belief also gives her a sense of inner peace. She doesn't waste time second guessing her decisions or wondering if she's on the right path because she trusts herself to figure it out. She knows that mistakes are inevitable, but she also knows that she has the resilience and resourcefulness to learn from them and keep moving forward. Her belief in herself allows her to navigate life with confidence, clarity, and purpose, even in the face of uncertainty. The rarest woman understands that belief is not something you are born with, it is something you cultivate. It requires daily effort, intentionality, and a willingness to silence the voice of doubt. She chooses to believe in herself not because it's always easy, but because she knows it's essential. She understands that the life she wants starts with her mindset, and she is committed to maintaining a belief in her ability to make it happen. Her belief is her greatest asset, the foundation of everything she does, and the reason she is able to rise above challenges and achieve her dreams. The rarest woman in the world is unapologetically herself. She does not seek approval or validation from others, nor does she mold herself to fit into societal expectations or external pressures. She understands that true power lies in authenticity and being completely boldly and unapologetically who she is at her core. This level of self-acceptance and confidence is not something she stumbles upon. It is a choice she makes every single day, and it is what makes her truly rare. She embraces her individuality with pride, recognizing that her uniqueness is her greatest strength. The rarest woman knows that she is not meant to blend in or conform to someone else's idea of who she should be. Instead, she embraces her quirks, her differences, and her complexities, knowing that they are what make her special. She doesn't compare herself to others or feel the need to compete because she knows there is no competition when it comes to being herself. There is only one version of her, and that is her superpower. Her authenticity is evident in the way she lives her life. She speaks her truth, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. She does not sugarcoat her opinions or hide her feelings to make others more comfortable. She values honesty and transparency, not only with others, but also with herself. This doesn't mean she is rude or abrasive. It means she is courageous enough to be real, even when it's easier to wear a mask. She understands that being true to herself is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The rarest woman does not apologize for her dreams, her ambitions, or her choices. She doesn't seek permission to take up space, to pursue her passions, or to live life on her terms. She knows that she has every right to exist fully and freely, just as she is. This unapologetic approach to life inspires others to do the same, creating a ripple effect of authenticity and self-confidence. People are drawn to her because of her genuine nature and her refusal to compromise who she is for the sake of fitting in. Her authenticity extends to her imperfections. The rarest woman does not pretend to have it all figured out or to be flawless. She is open about her struggles, her failures, and her lessons learned. She understands that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength, a way to connect with others on a deeper level. By owning her imperfections, she frees herself from the pressure of perfection and allows herself the grace to grow and evolve. She knows that authenticity is not about being perfect, it's about being real. This woman also understands that authenticity requires boundaries. She knows that not everyone will understand or appreciate her true self, and she is okay with that. She does not waste time trying to please people who do not align with her values or who cannot accept her as she is. Instead, she surrounds herself with those who celebrate her individuality and encourage her to shine even brighter. Her boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about protecting her energy and staying true to herself. Her authenticity is her guiding principle in all areas of life. In her career, she pursues work that aligns with her passions and values, refusing to settle for anything that feels inauthentic or unfulfilling. In her relationships, she seeks connections that are genuine and meaningful, built on mutual respect and understanding. She does not tolerate superficiality or manipulation because she values depth and sincerity. Her authenticity creates a sense of trust and reliability, making her a person that others admire and respect. The rarest woman's authenticity is not a static state, it is a dynamic, evolving process. She is constantly learning more about herself, uncovering new layers of her identity, and refining her understanding of what it means to be true to herself. She is not afraid to change or grow because she knows that authenticity is not about staying the same, it is about staying honest. She embraces the journey of self-discovery with curiosity and openness, knowing that every step brings her closer to her true self. Her unapologetic authenticity also extends to her voice. The rarest woman speaks up for what she believes in, even when it's difficult or controversial. She is not afraid to advocate for herself or for others because she knows that her voice matters. She does not shy away from difficult conversations or challenging situations because she understands that authenticity sometimes requires courage. Her willingness to speak her truth makes her a force to be reckoned with and a source of inspiration for those around her. Her authenticity is liberating not just for herself, but for others as well. By living unapologetically, she gives permission for others to do the same. She becomes a role model for embracing individuality, showing that it is possible to live a life that is true to who you are without compromise. For example, challenges others to reflect on their own authenticity and to take steps toward living more fully and freely. In this way, her authenticity becomes a powerful catalyst for change. The rarest woman in the world knows that being unapologetically herself is not always easy, but it is always necessary. She refuses to shrink herself to fit into someone else's mold or to dim her light for the comfort of others. She is fiercely committed to living a life that is true to who she is, no matter what challenges or judgments come her way. This commitment to authenticity is what makes her extraordinary, and it is what allows her to create a life that is both meaningful and inspiring. The rarest woman in the world knows that resilience is not just about enduring hardships, it is about thriving in their midst. Life is unpredictable and often challenging, but she understands that her ability to rise above adversity is not defined by what happens to her, but by how she responds. Resilience for her is a skill she has honed through experience, a mindset she has cultivated over time. It is not a trait she was born with, but a muscle she has strengthened through every setback, every failure, and every trial she has faced. This woman approaches challenges with an unshakable determination to overcome them. She doesn't run from problems or pretend they don't exist. Instead, she confronts them head on. When life throws obstacles in her path, she doesn't ask, "Why me?" But instead, what can I learn from this shift in perspective allows her to see difficulties not as barriers, but as opportunities for growth. She understands that every challenge carries within it the seed of transformation, and she is willing to do the work to uncover it. Her resilience is deeply rooted in her mindset. She believes in her ability to adapt and find solutions, no matter how tough the situation may seem. She doesn't dwell on what she cannot control. Instead, she focuses her energy on what she can do to move forward. This proactive approach empowers her to take ownership of her circumstances and to make choices that align with her goals. She refuses to be a victim of her circumstances, choosing instead to be the architect of her life. The rarest woman recognizes that resilience doesn't mean being unaffected by pain or difficulty. She feels deeply, and she allows herself the space to grieve, to process, and to heal. She understands that suppressing emotions only creates more obstacles in the long run. By acknowledging her feelings and working through them, she builds the emotional strength needed to face future challenges. Her resilience is not about pretending to be invincible, but about embracing her humanity and using her experiences to grow stronger. This woman also knows the importance of self-care in building resilience. She takes care of her mind, body, and spirit because she understands that her well-being is the foundation of her strength. Whether it's through exercise, meditation, journaling, or spending time with loved ones, she prioritizes the practices that help her recharge and maintain her mental clarity. She knows that resilience is not just about pushing through, it's also about knowing when to rest and regroup. Her ability to bounce back is directly tied to her ability to take care of herself. She is not afraid to seek support when she needs it. The rarest woman knows that resilience is not a solo journey, it is built through connections with others. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her, challenge her, and believe in her ability to overcome. She is willing to ask for help, to lean on her support system, and to share her struggles with those she trusts. This vulnerability doesn't weaken her, it strengthens her, reminding her that she is not alone and that others are there to help her navigate life's challenges. Her resilience is also fueled by her unwavering sense of purpose. She knows what she stands for, what she wants to achieve, and why it matters. This clarity gives her the strength to keep going, even when the road gets tough. Her purpose acts as a compass, guiding her through uncertainty and reminding her of what she's working toward. When she feels like giving up, she reconnects with her why, and it reignites her determination to push forward. Her resilience is not just about surviving, it's about staying aligned with her vision and values, no matter what comes her way. The rarest woman has learned to find silver linings, even in the darkest of times. She doesn't ignore the pain or challenges she faces, but she chooses to look for lessons, opportunities, and moments of growth within them. This optimism is not blind positivity, it is a conscious decision to focus on what is possible instead of dwelling on what is lost. Her ability to find meaning in adversity fuels her resilience and helps her turn setbacks into stepping stones. Her resilience inspires others, not because she is perfect or because she never struggles, but because she shows what is possible when you refuse to give up. She becomes a living example of strength, perseverance, and hope. Her story reminds others that it's okay to fall, as long as you get back up. It's okay to feel defeated as long as you don't stay there. Her resilience is a testament to the power of the human spirit and the limitless potential of those who choose to rise above their circumstances. Ultimately, the rarest woman knows that resilience is a lifelong journey. It is not about achieving a state of unbreakable strength, but about continually learning, growing, and adapting. Each challenge she faces becomes a part of her story, shaping her into a woman who is not only capable of enduring life's storms, but of thriving because of them. Her resilience is her superpower, and it is what allows her to navigate life with courage, grace, and an unshakable belief in her ability to overcome anything. The rarest woman in the world understands the incredible power of gratitude. She knows that it is not just an occasional feeling or a fleeting moment of thankfulness, but a practice and a way of life. Gratitude is her foundation, shaping how she views the world, approaches challenges, and interacts with others. It is the lens through which she chooses to see life, focusing on abundance instead of lack, joy instead of frustration, and possibility instead of limitation. This woman begins and ends her days with gratitude. In the quiet moments of the morning, she reflects on the blessings in her life, the people she loves, the opportunities she has, and the lessons she's learned. These reflections ground her, setting the tone for the day ahead. Instead of starting her day with complaints or worries, she chooses to anchor herself in appreciation, knowing that what she focuses on expands. By beginning with gratitude, she primes her mind to see the good in everything that follows. Gratitude for her is not reserved for extraordinary moments or grand successes. She finds it in the small, everyday experiences that others might overlook. The warmth of sunlight on her skin, the laughter of a friend, the satisfaction of completing a task. She treasures these moments, knowing that they are the threads that weave a life of fulfillment. By appreciating the simple things, she cultivates a sense of contentment that shields her from the constant pursuit of more. She knows that happiness is not found in the next achievement or possession, but in recognizing the beauty of the present moment. When challenges arise, the rarest woman leans on gratitude as her anchor. She understands that even in adversity, there is something to be thankful for: a lesson, a growth opportunity, or the strength she discovers within herself. Instead of dwelling on what's wrong, she asks herself, what can I learn from this? What is this teaching me? This mindset doesn't minimize her struggles, but allows her to navigate them with grace and resilience. Gratitude becomes her source of strength, helping her to focus on what she can control and appreciate what she still has. Her gratitude extends beyond herself. It shapes how she interacts with others. She is quick to express appreciation for the people in her life, whether it's through words, actions, or simple gestures. She understands the profound impact of making someone feel valued and seen. Her gratitude strengthens her relationships, fostering deeper connections built on mutual respect and kindness. People are drawn to her warmth and positivity, and her genuine thankfulness makes her someone others trust and admire. The rarest woman also knows that gratitude is a practice that must be cultivated intentionally. She doesn't wait for gratitude to come naturally, she actively seeks it out. Whether it's through journaling, meditation, or simply pausing to reflect, she takes time each day to focus on what she's thankful for. This practice rewires her brain, training her to notice the good even in the midst of chaos. It's not that she ignores difficulties, but she refuses to let them overshadow the abundance in her life. Her gratitude becomes a habit, a muscle she strengthens daily. Gratitude gives her a sense of abundance that is unshakable. She doesn't measure her worth or happiness by what she has or doesn't have, because she knows that true wealth lies in appreciating what is already present. This mindset frees her from the trap of comparison, allowing her to celebrate others' successes without feeling threatened or inadequate. She knows that gratitude is the antidote to envy and the key to contentment. By focusing on her blessings, she creates a life that feels rich and fulfilling no matter her circumstances. This woman's gratitude fuels her ambition, not by making her complacent, but by reminding her of what's possible. She is motivated not by a sense of lack, but by a desire to build on the good she already has. Her goals are rooted in appreciation for the opportunities before her and a vision for what she can create. She doesn't chase success out of desperation, but out of excitement for what lies ahead. Her gratitude for the present propels her toward the future with optimism and determination. Her gratitude is not just an internal experience, it radiates outward, influencing those around her. She inspires others to adopt a similar mindset, showing them the transformative power of focusing on the positive. Her presence is uplifting, a reminder that there is always something to be thankful for, no matter how small. She doesn't preach gratitude, she lives it, and her example speaks louder than any words could. The rarest woman understands that gratitude is not a destination, but a journey, a way of seeing and being in the world. It is the foundation of her joy, her resilience, and her ability to thrive. By choosing gratitude, she transforms her life into a celebration of abundance, beauty, and endless possibility. In conclusion, the rarest woman in the world is not defined by her circumstances, achievements, or status. She is defined by her mindset, her resilience, and her unwavering commitment to being unapologetically herself. She lives with purpose, confidence, and a deep belief in her own potential. Her authenticity, gratitude, and strength are not just traits, they are the powerful forces that guide her through life's challenges, inspire those around her, and create a lasting impact in the world. She understands that life will test her, but it is her response to adversity that shapes her journey. She faces difficulties with courage, learns from every experience, and rises above them stronger than before. Her belief in herself fuels her ambition, and her resilience enables her to continue pushing forward even when the path is tough. Her gratitude for life, big or small, becomes the lens through which she finds joy and purpose, and it empowers her to make the most of every opportunity. The rarest woman is a beacon of hope, a living testament to the power of self-belief, authenticity, and gratitude. Her example shows us that we too have the ability to rise above our limitations, embrace our true selves, and create lives of meaning and fulfillment. She is rare not because she is perfect, but because she chooses to live a life that reflects her deepest values, and in doing so, she leaves an indelible mark on the world and inspires others to do the same. Thank you.